guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new around here, welcome to my channel. My name is Kirsty and I make psychic and spiritual content. So if that's your kind of thing, please do stick around and join us by subscribing, by hitting the subscribe button down below. So today we're going to talk about spring equinox. I'm going to do a collective energy reading for the spring equinox to see what spirit want us to know about it and what the kind of energy holds. But before we get into that, today's video is in collaboration with Ana Luisa, and Ana Luisa is a sustainable, affordable jewelry company, and they do lovely jewelry like this necklace that I'm wearing. And yeah, so they have offered us a 20% off discount code that is available across their website, and I just want to talk a little bit about the brand. So this pendant that I'm wearing is part of their personality pendant collection, and this collection is totally a bit of us. They have 6 pendants and they are representing different parts of spirituality. So we have the 4 elements, which is earth, water, fire and air. The pendant that I'm wearing is earth. I specifically chose earth because I'm an earth sign. So it's really personal, it's personal jewelry, and I think it would make a lovely gift as well, like a birthday gift. You could get someone the element, you know, that their sign's under. Obviously I would love the earth because I'm an earth sign, which is why I chose it. And it's just super cute. And they also have spirit and light as well, and I did actually get the spirit pendant as well, which I will show you. I'll show you both up close. Another thing I really do like about the brand is they are sustainable. They care about their impact on the planet, and I'm all for that. We need to really care about nature and the planet. We really need to take care of it. So the box that the jewelry came in, it's sustainable, it's recyclable, it's cardboard, you can reuse it or you can recycle it. But then let's just talk about the packaging, okay, because you can keep your jewelry in there. It's like really good quality packaging, and the jewelry itself is really like lightweight and lovely quality, so really lovely. I'll show you the pendants up close now, so just give me a second. So let me just zoom in so you can actually see them up close. So this is the earth pendant up close. So can you just see the detailing on that and how it represents nature and earth? It's really cute, really sweet. Let me just make sure. I don't know how clear that is. One second. Oh, let me just make sure it's clear and you can see it. There we go. How lovely is that? It's like you've got a flower there, you've got the stars, super representative of the element of earth. I love. And then I'll just show you spirit as well because it's super cute. Yeah, there we go, the spirit pendant. And like I said, they have all the elements: earth, water, air and fire. So you can get one that represents your own zodiac sign. Super personable, and as I said, sustainable too. So let me just zoom back out. Okay, so as I said, they have offered us a 20% discount code. It's Kirsty Lewis 20. I will leave it down in the description box below, as well as the link to Ana Luisa if you do want to check out any of their jewelry. And thank you to Ana Luisa for offering to collaborate with me on today's video. So let's get into the collective energy reading for the spring equinox. So spring equinox is basically when, don't get me in the technicalities here, but it's when the sun moves to a certain point, I believe, across the equator, where day and night balance. They become in an equal amount. So we have the equal amount of sun as we do equal amount of daylight as we do nighttime. And yeah, so we are about to enter spring. It couldn't come quick enough for me. Usually your girl loves autumn, winter, and I really do, but I'm ready for that spring energy. I'm ready for that refresh, that growth, you know. Spring, as it does in nature, I've said this so many times, nature is a perfect reflection of us. We are part of nature, and as the flowers bloom, the trees start to come back to life, the sun starts to show a bit more, we start to feel that in our own lives, and we start to begin to feel revived, you know, that whole spring clean, that kind of detox that we are, you know, so used to hearing about with spring. You know, we kind of bring in that new fresh energy into our lives. And the phrase that spirit kept bringing through for the spring equinox, for the collective, is to plant yourself in circles, in relationships, in situations that allow you to grow. Just like flowers are planted in mud and they're watered and they're nurtured, plant yourself in situations where you are able to bloom and grow. Move out of those kind of situations that leave you feeling dead and flat. And you know, it isn't about just spontaneously getting up and deciding, okay, I'm gonna leave now. No, it's about basically starting to think about how you feel when you're around certain people, how your energy feels, whether certain things do make you feel alive, or whether the time has come to kind of plant new seeds elsewhere. And it's time to really reevaluate and start kind of putting plans into place to move out of those situations, or even to water situations that you have neglected. You know, if you've got a friend that you haven't spoken to in a long time, but being around them makes you feel good, it makes you feel happy, maybe pick up the phone and call them. You know, it's about nurturing now what makes you feel alive and what you want to bloom and grow as summer comes in, because that's what spring's all about. We're planting for summer. Summer's when we're out there, we're alive, we're living our best lives, and that starts now. Well, it started back in winter, but it starts now. Now is about planting the seeds, allowing the room for the blooming and the growing to take place, and putting yourself in situations that do make you feel like you can bloom and grow. Again, I feel like I talked about this a lot. Was it in the Valentine's Day collective reading that I did? I can't remember. But Spirit have been talking so much about having fun. Having fun. It's time for us to lighten up, and as spring brings more light into our lives, we need to be bringing more light into our lives. What feels fun to you? What feels light-hearted to you? What feels energetically good and bright and has that energy of the sun? That's what you want to be bringing more of into your life this spring, okay? Again, Spirit is saying the past few years have felt very dark. They felt very heavy. You know, dark energy is heavy. When we are focusing on the sun, on light, on brightness, enjoyment, fun, creativity, recreation, we're moving into that flow energy. We're moving into that light energy, and light energy allows movement. You know, just think of it like an object. You're holding a brick. A brick is heavy. There's not much movement you can do, but when you're holding air flows, you know? So that's the kind of energy we want to be bringing in, light energy. We want to be focusing on what feels light and feels good. Okay, here we go, this flipped over. So the moon. So the moon represents the darkness, the nighttime, the parts of ourselves that we keep in the dark, that we don't like to let out, the shadow self. And as Spirit have already said, as spring equinox comes in, you want to be moving out of this nighttime energy. You know, this is very much winter, autumn energy. We're moving away from that now. But Spirit is saying, as I tap into this card, you want to be reflective. We've just had the Virgo full moon, and that was a really reflective moment to be like, what have I learnt through winter? What have I learnt through autumn that I either need to lay to bed before we move into spring and summer, or that I need to work on and I need to heal, or that I need more of in my life? You know, take a pause at the spring equinox. Just take a little moment. These equinoxes are good, you know, the solstices and the equinoxes, they're great moments to just pause and reflect. How am I doing at this point? Look at your goals. You know, how far along am I with my goals? Am I where I want to be, or do I need to shift some things? You know, what are you maybe avoiding because it feels uncomfortable? That's where growth is. You know, when we stay in our comfort zones and we just do what we've always done, and we just don't check in with ourselves, and we don't reevaluate, and we aren't self-aware, there's no growth there. So Spirit's really calling for you to look at the parts that maybe you haven't wanted to look at. You know, where have you held yourself back? Where do things need to change? Where do things need to shift? Where does more nurturing need to take place? Where do you need to have more fun? Where is more light needing to be brought in? Like I said earlier, you know, where's the friends that I haven't spoken to in ages? You know, are there people that I've neglected, relationships I've neglected? Have I neglected myself? What parts of you have you avoided, and what have you learned from autumn, winter that you need to kind of look at as you move forward for spring and summer? Because as said, spring and summer is all about planting now what you want to blossom. You know, this is all about nurturing now what you want to grow, putting yourself in situations where you feel you're able to grow and blossom and bloom, and having fun and being creative and moving into light energy and being around people that lift you up and make you feel like you're growing and blossoming and blooming. All of that is important. And as I said, you can look to nature for your wisdom. You can look to nature for your guidance, you know, and I know obviously depending on what hemisphere you're in, it does differ. But here in obviously the northern hemisphere, we are going through spring equinox. So we want to be looking outside. At the moment I'm looking outside, it looks very, very bleak, but it's a firm reminder that it's not yet spring. It's not yet spring. You know, I'm a few weeks ahead. As I said, I am ready for the spring, but you know, it's just that gentle reminder from spirit, like, not yet. We're not ready to be blooming yet. We've still got a little bit of reflection to do, a little bit of learning to do, a little bit of inner work to do, a little bit of self-care, and just we're just emerging now. We're just waking up slowly. So, you know, give yourself that kind of gentle moment of pause to reflect on what you want for yourself going forward, what you wanted for yourself before, and how far along you are with it, and you know, what needs a bit of nurturing and a bit of TLC right now, and where can you bring more fun and light into your life. Those are the key themes that are coming through. And I'm just going to take a cup of tea because my throat recently has, you know, with this weather that has been very up and down in this country, speaking of spring equinox, like, it's very cold here. You would think it's December looking outside, and my throat feels it too. So through the surrender deck, I'm just going to tap in with spirit and see maybe what we need to move away from as a collective as we do enter the spring and the summer. What do we need to let go of? What do we maybe need to look at in terms of our healing? Surrender to inner peace. Okay. This says, cultivate inner peace on a daily basis. In quiet meditative moments, focus on the stillness within and enjoy this inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes too, and your life will flow more easily. And what I really love is, if you look at the image, can you see the bits of light coming through? Light is where, you know, we're able to excel, where we're able to ascend, where we're able to flow. But that only comes from within. Your light comes from within. And spirit have just shown me the tarot, the hermit card. You know, if you know tarot, you will know the hermit holds his lantern. It's directly aligned with his heart chakra. That's his light. You know, tap into you know, what makes you feel at peace, what makes you feel loved, what makes you feel joyful, and grow from there. Grow those emotions from, grow your life from those emotions. Center and let those be the seeds. Let what you love, what brings you joy, what makes you feel at peace be the seeds that you grow as you move forward. Let them guide you. Let those emotions lead you. And how you actually tangibly, practically do that is when you're making decisions moving forward, you ask yourself, does this bring me peace? Does this feel like light energy? Do I love the idea of this, or does this make me feel loved and supported? You know, you ask yourself those questions, you know, and if it's a no, or making this decision, or being around this person, or doing this thing doesn't make me feel good, then move away from it. Because what you really want to be doing is cultivating an inner world that makes you feel at peace, because our inner world is what creates our outer world. You know, there's been a real like key saying of, you know, your projection is your perception. Is that the right? Your perception is your projection. Both. Both. We see the world how we perceive it, and it starts within. And so if you have an inner world where you're feeling that, you know, you're basing all your decisions and everything off things that make other people happy, or that you feel obliged to do, or that make you feel guilty, or you're denying yourself, you know, you're going to create that world around you, is how it's going to feel. But when you start making decisions in your life based on inner peace, love, light, joy, flow, come on, you just feel the vibrations here. It just feels different, and it's going to be a different experience to you. Your life will flow more easily when you cultivate inner peace. It starts with us. It always starts with us. So let go of, like, you know, and when I say let go, it sounds like it's so easy. Oh yeah, just let it go. No, it's going to take practice. It's going to take time to shift and move. Like, for example, if you are used to being a people pleaser, you're not just going to wake up the next day and go, okay, yeah, I'm just going to do what I want to do now. No, it's going to take cultivation and time. But that's what spring's all about. Spring's when you go back out into your garden, you start watering your seeds. It's not about overnight instant gratification. It's about nurturing and watering now what you want to grow and bloom in summer. So if you want to quit the people pleasing, if you want to quit self-sabotage, if you want to quit self-denial, if you want to quit self-hatred, all these things, start watering those seeds now. Start cultivating that peace in you now, because that's what will blossom in 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the line, or a year down the line. You know, start watering what you want right now. This simple answers deck often signifies what we can bring more of into our life. So let's just see, Spirit, what do we need to bring more of as a collective into our life under this spring equinox? And I can just hear them, they keep saying fun, laughter, lightheartedness, joy. Remember, sometimes in the way the world is right now, you can feel helpless and hopeless. You feel like a little piece in like a big puzzle. And it's true, we are very tiny pieces in a massive universe and galaxy. But guess what? All of us add up to the bigger puzzle. So your energy matters. Your energy matters. So imagine you've got all of us vibrating and radiating at this low frequency, this dark energy, this low vibe, which is where they want us to be. That means the collective is vibrating at that, because all of us together make the collective. But if we individually take responsibility for our own lives, and we individually start having fun, start being lighthearted, start experiencing joy, then as a collective, we raise the vibration, because we are all one. Okay, so, you know, I know it feels like sometimes you're hopeless and helpless, but just by choosing and being proactive with your healing, your self-love, it does matter, and it does all account to a bigger picture. So Spirit, what do we need more of right now as a collective as we move into the spring equinox? Exactly. Do you know what? This is why I love cards. Just coughing away here. Like, take bite-sized steps and look at the picture. See how we're a collective? It's not about massive impact. Like, if you want to change the world, it's not always going to be that you're going to go to another country and you know feed the poor, or that you're going to donate lots of money, or that you're going to send a rocket to the moon. It doesn't have to be that. Remember, this is a collective reading. It's the small changes that you make. It's the bite-sized steps. And that's why Spirit kept saying, you know, tell them it's not going to change overnight. Tell them it's not going to change overnight. That's not what this is about. This is about nurturing. Like I said, whatever you're dealing with now, when you reflect back on the last kind of like 6 months of autumn and winter, and you go, okay, in autumn and winter, I really didn't show up for myself, or I was really people-pleasing, or I was really self-sabotaging. It's not about going, okay, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm not going to do that anymore. No, it's about being like, okay, how can I slowly shift that? How can I start focusing on me? And it's a slow, bite-sized build. As Spirit said, you know, when you're making decisions or you're facing problems, say to yourself, how does this make me feel? Am I acting here from darkness or lightness? What would make me... So say it is people pleasing, how can I act more for me in this moment? How can I, you know, it's just about being self-aware, but doing it at your own pace. You don't have to jump in and change yourself overnight. That is not what this is about. Just like we do with our flowers in our garden, we are watering the seeds that we want to see bloom and grow in the summer. And that's what spring is, you know, this spring equinox is calling for you to do. It's calling for you to just, yeah, as the sun does and the day and the night do, is to find that balance. As I said at the beginning, spring equinox is when the daytime and the nighttime are balanced. We want to be finding that balance, and you don't find balance by just jumping from one thing to another. You know, it's about taking your time, watering what you want to see grow, understanding that, you know, it's not going to happen overnight. Change is what takes place little by little by little by little, you know. I heard a great saying recently, and it was the fastest way to get anywhere is slowly. I think sometimes we want to see changes in our life and we think, right, and this is what happens on a new year. All the time you see people and they're like, right, I want to lose weight, I want to do all this, and by 3 weeks in they give up because they're expecting to see instant results. And change, it can take years to really see change. You can think, wow, I've really mastered this people pleasing, or I've really mastered this self-denial, or I've really mastered this jealousy that I have, and then out of nowhere you're triggered and you're like, oh, you know, it's a constant thing. It's a constant watering. It's a constant focusing on what you want, planting yourself in places that make you feel that you don't have to people please, or feel, you know, that make you feel comfortable, that make you feel that you can grow. As Spirit said, around this spring equinox, you're going to be, you know, as a collective, we're going to be really put in situations where we start thinking, am I growing here? Is this somewhere that makes me feel like I'm blossoming and blooming? Is this light? Is there light here for me to bloom? Is there water here? Or am I being starved? You know, are my seeds going to grow here, or are they just going to wither away? And that's what this is all about. Spirit is saying that really now more than ever, we're shifting out of that darkness. We're being called back to the light, and that really requires us to pay attention to where we keep ourselves in the dark. And they're going back to the moon with this. Where do you keep yourself in the dark? Where do you suppress your true wants and desires, or suppress the parts of yourself that you feel are ugly and you don't want people to see? And where do we allow other people to do that to us? And how can we slowly, because it's not an overnight thing, how can we slowly, at our own pace, begin to cultivate that inner peace and cultivate a world that makes us feel better? This is about reflection and taking our time to create our new world for ourselves. I talked about this in the 2023 energy predictions video, where I said we are about to turn a corner. You know, the past kind of like 3 or 4 years have been very, very dark. And 2023 really is about going around that corner, just peeking, being like, oh, we're about to enter something really new. We just don't know what it is yet. And so there is that limbo energy. But Spirit's saying you're more in control than you think you are. And you really want to be thinking now, especially with the energy of the spring equinox, what do I want to bloom and grow in my life? What kind of friendships do I want to have? What kind of life do I want to have? And how can I start taking the steps now, the very, very small steps, again, not overwhelming yourself, the very, very small steps to make this a reality. If you want to write a book, what can you do today to set that journey? You know, it could be writing a sentence, or it could be writing a description of what you want the book to be about. Like, what's something you can do today to plant the seed for what you want to see grow in the summer? And that's what this is all about. The message really coming through is about focusing on the light and starting to plant the seeds around that light, so you can see the effects of it when summer does come in, you know, when we do move into summer. And lastly, we are going to pull from the angel deck to see what angel can help us around the spring equinox. So Spirit, please show us the angel that we can call on for help around the spring equinox. Spirit is also saying, as well as we move out of the autumn and winter months, you can speak with the sun. You know, sun gazing, going out in the morning, just spending time just closing your eyes and being under the sun. Let the sun's rays and light wash over you. Let it like bring in the light into you. Like, you can just stand in front of the sun and just imagine absorbing its rays and just letting that go through you and saying, I welcome in the light, I welcome in the light, I welcome in the light. Because that's really what spring equinox is all about now. We're welcoming in the light. Well, we was doing it from winter solstice, but you know, we're really welcoming it in now. We're welcoming it back, and that's exactly what we want to be doing. So Spirit, what angel can we call on now to work with in this spring equinox? Bridget, inner strength. Can you see she's holding the flame there? She's holding the light. She says, move back to wholeness, recognize that you have the power. The light is more in our hands than we are aware of. Okay, even me saying that, and I'm aware, like, I'm the creator of my life and all of that, it's even more in our power than even I'm saying and I know. We have the power to shift and create and change our lives, and it starts inside. It starts with baby steps. It starts with knowing what our darkness is and being like, okay, I'm not perfect, but I'm willing to work on it. I'm willing to let the light back in. I'm willing to hold my power. I'm willing to stand in front of the sun and welcome in the light. I know I'm not a perfect being, but that doesn't mean I can't create a life I love. That doesn't mean things can't change. Where you are doesn't mean things can't change. And the spring equinox gives you a moment to pause and to look at what you want to change, or what you want to nurture and stay the same, what you want to pour more into, and to start doing that. Start focusing on joy, love, contentment, and, you know, letting the rest fade away. What we focus on grows, and Spirit is calling us now with the spring equinox to focus on the light. So Let me know in the comments what you want to focus on more as you move forward. What is something that makes you feel good? What is something that makes you feel uplifted that maybe you don't give enough time to, or you do give time to it but you want to give more to it? What is something that makes you feel alive? I tell you, for me, when it comes to winter, I don't get to travel as much. In summer, I am traveling all the time. I'm going to the beaches all around the UK. It doesn't necessarily even mean to be like another country. Like, I love just traveling around this country, and in summer, me and my boyfriend, we do that a lot, and I've really missed it during autumn and winter. So that's something that makes me feel light. So something I need to really do is start getting out of the house more. That's what brings me more light. That's what makes me feel more peaceful and connected and, yeah, happy, and that's what brings more light into my life. So what is something that maybe you need to nurture and pour more water into that makes you feel more light, more happy, more loved, more joyful, all those light emotions? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for being with me today, lovelies. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to hit a lovely thumbs up. Remember, if you did want to check out any of Ana Luisa's jewellery, I do have a 20% off discount code, and I will leave that in the description box down below if you do want to check them out. Remember to share if there's any message here that you feel may resonate with someone that you know. And if you would like your own personal and private reading with me, you can book that over on my website, www.kirstilewis.com, and I'll also leave that down below as well. But thank you so much for being with me today, lovelies, and I will see you soon for another video. Bye!